Welcome. This is the campus-wide or college-wide meeting that we have after our regular trustees meetings. The trustees met on Tuesday, September the 11th, in a very long session. This is what we call the annual meeting, subtitled The Sandy Show. It's the meeting where we approve all the budgetary issues that go on for the year. So it's a very important meeting. And we always apologize to the new trustees. We just had several who joined us. But if they come back for the second meeting, we figure they're going to hang in there with us. But usually our meetings last about an hour and a half or so, but this one went for 3 hours, which is typical of that meeting. If you did not get it on your way in, we have Western Piedmont Water, Western Piedmont Coasters on the flip side, and Workers also on here. Western Piedmont paid for these through the foundation. Thank you, Stacy, and those of you who contribute to the foundation, which is most of all of you here. These are just some of the things that came out of the marketing committee that met over the summer, and it should make you all feel good that we are responding to the requests that came out for more marketing material. There's a lot more of this, things that are printed, updates to the website, and a variety of other things. This water did not come out of our pond. So even though it says Western Piedmont Community College on it, it's not Western Piedmont water. I think it's actually Hendersonville water, if I remember correctly. But we'll be continuing to do those things. We do want your comments. If you have some suggestions, some of you all have come up with great suggestions. We try to get back to you if we know who sent in the comments. And if we don't get back to you, my apologies. Sometimes in the rush of everything else going on, we fail to do that. But we are reacting to all the comments that come in. We can't do everything. For example, we can't buy that blimp that float over all of the festivals in town. It was about $400,000, and that was just beyond our budget. So we're doing some other things that with that money. But that was a joke. Really a blimp? Actually, I knew a guy once that worked for a blimp company. They made the little ones that are in stadiums. It's kind of an interesting job. The format for today's meeting is what it has been in the past. We will let all of the vice presidents and others get up and report on various areas. We have several things, and I'll come back and close us out at the end of the session. So we're going to start in this order. We'll start with Sandy, which means she'll be up here until 3:30. And then Rhea is going to follow her. Then I'll come back up and introduce Susan Burley and Stacy Scholler, who have a little bit to tell you. And I'll wrap us up. So Sandy, it's all yours.
And the trustee meeting was 3 hours, but it was not all me for all 3 hours, I promise.
2 hours.
Yeah. So it is my honor to introduce the college's newest employees since May 17, 2018. I want to start with Brandon Pittman, who began full-time employment at Western Piedmont as coordinator of instructor and horticulture technology on August the 9th. He comes to us from Malin Community College, where he served as coordinator of agriculture technology program. In addition to working for Malin, Brandon also pastors a church in Spruce Pine. He earned his associate degree in applied science, 2 degrees actually, agribusiness management and ornamentals and landscape technology from North Carolina State University Agriculture Institute, and then a Bachelor of Science degree in agriculture education, professional service from NC-A&T State University. Laura Davidson, I didn't see her come in earlier. But Laura began full-time employment August the 9th, 2018 as an instructor for English. Laura's most recent work experience includes adjunct English instructor for Monterey. She has also worked as a graduate assistant, tutoring students in writing, and taught English for freshmen and sophomores for Western Carolina University. Laura earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in English from Monterey College and a Master's of Art in English from Western Carolina University. Next, we have Donald Doc Wilson, who began full-time employment as coordinator instructor of the physical education program on August 13th. He comes to us from Cape Fear Community College, where he last served as instructor of physical education for a number of years. He also taught physical education full-time at Central Piedmont Community College, so a lot of community college experience there. Doc earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Health Education from East Tennessee University and a Master's of Science degree in Physical Education and Coaching from Winthrop University. And finally, we have Chadwick Wilkes, who began employment as Facility Services August 13th, 2018. Chad's most recent work experience includes Sales Associate for Hickory Lawn and Garden. His other experience includes Utility Tech from McDowell County Public Schools, Grounds Worker for J. Iverson Riddle, and Horticulturalist Assistant Superintendent for Mimosa Hills Country Club. Chad earned an Associate Applied Science degree in Horticulture Technology from Western Piedmont Community College. And I can tell you we're already seeing the benefits of Chad's experience on this campus already. So join me in welcoming Laura, Brandon, Doc, and Chad. A slide short or slide behind. So at the annual meeting that we just had, we did review several, we reported on and discussed the following items related to finance and facilities. I won't necessarily go over all those with you because I know you're not going to be interested in most of those. But we did have a lot to go over with them as our annual practices. The budget update for fiscal year 2018-2019, just a few items that I wanted to bring to your attention today. There is not a tuition increase for this year, so we're always pleased when we can say that. And this is actually the third year in a row that we've not had a tuition increase. So tuition for community colleges is still the best deal in town and across the nation as well. The biggest change that we had was the FTE calculation for non-curriculum. It changed to use the same divisor as for curriculum. Therefore, membership hours are now divided by 512 versus 688 as was in the past. So it does equate to more FTE. However, as we may have mentioned in prior meetings, the system office budget priorities included a larger amount of funding that would be necessary for this increase. We did not receive all of that. They requested a little bit over $16 million system-wide, and we received less than that, some in recurring and some in non-recurring. So what the system office had to do, and you can see with this chart here, is they had to change the per-tier funding formula to account for the money that they did receive. So you can see that the difference in FTE for occupational basic skills actually went down per FTE. But remember, we received a higher FTE. So, all in all, it's a good thing. Our FTE increased 51 budgeted FTE. Without the change that we just spoke of, we would have had a decrease of 87 budgeted FTE. So again, overall, it's a good thing. And they will be asking for additional funding in the next budget priority session that comes up. Our funding increased overall $155,860 or 1.13%. But keep in mind that that has to cover any salary increases, increases to retirement, and increases to medical. Employees employed as of July 1st, 2018 will receive a 2% salary increase as well as any educational attainment amount as specified in our policy manual. This will be calculated in the September payroll and be retro back to July 1st. A few updates from Administrative Services. Just want to thank the Business Office for their hard work and effort this past summer, getting fiscal year 2018 closed, our financial statements completed, and opening fiscal year 2019. The budgets have been posted, and I know that we'll be meeting with the academic deans and others next Monday to talk about some of that, and I'll be talking with some of the other directors that are responsible for budgets throughout the following week. So again, taking into consideration the net allocations increased 1.13, but again, that does still have to cover any of the increases that we saw in salary and related benefits. But I do want to just say I appreciate the work that everyone does to keep our costs down and manage their budgets efficiently. Human Human resources, a few things you've seen from Lisa already. The annual training from Safe Colleges is out there for all employees. That is due October 31st. Health insurance, the open enrollment, these are important dates and they'll be sent out in the next few weeks as well, but just wanted to make you aware. September the 29th through October 31st. And again, it's like before, everyone's kind of thrown back into the 70-30 plan. So if you want a different plan, you do have to go in to the open enrollment and make sure you choose your plan. And there is a credit for tobacco users. Lisa will be sending out more information on that as well. There's been a few changes with the NC Quit line, but there are some other things that you can do to still get that credit. Voluntary benefits, the open enrollment for that is going to be November the 5th through November 16th, and the Pierce Group will be conducting several informational sessions to let employees know what is available for them. Our bookstore, just want to remind faculty that we have e-texts that students can rent, and our Timber software, they can go online to the bookstore website, order the merchandise that they need, order their books, and have it delivered. Order different apparel and different merchandise as they need or want to. So that's a real convenience for students. Also from the bookstores, you've seen the flyers that Christina has sent out about clothing options and apparel. We wanted to try to do a few little things different this year. So we have some items that you can, other than just t-shirts and hoodies that you can purchase. Christina has samples of all those items in the bookstore. You may want to go by and take a look at that. The orders for that is due September the 28th. Another thing we did different this year was offer embroidery for certain items. The deadline was this past Monday to drop that off, but we do hope to do that again in the future. So if you see somebody or know somebody that had that done, you may want to check that out and see how well it turned out. Technology, faculty, please remind your students to sign up for the V-Alert or download the mobile app. Jim sent that out yesterday to students. He also sent it out to all of the faculty and staff. If you don't want to download the app or don't want to have your data on, or you can also contact technology and give them a cell phone number and you will still receive a text. But there's also other ways that you can receive the messages, email, our website, calling the main number. So be aware of all those items as well. Technology is working closely with human resources on electronic forms. So we do ask you to be patient with us as we go through some of that. We may ask you to test some things out. So help us with those workflows, but be patient as we work through some of those forms. Custodial, we are going with ABM, which was formerly GCA, the ones who have been here. Robbie Chris is the manager. Please let us know if things are not up to par in your area. Please do not feel like you're getting anyone in trouble. The main purpose is to make sure we're meeting expectations. And that could be coaching moments for Robbie with his employees, but we want the campus to look good. We want the campus to be safe and environmentally clean. So don't feel bad about calling me and letting me know that something is not up to par. Security, as we've been saying for months, if you see something, say something. We want to make sure security is forefront on all of our minds. The door access systems, I'll talk about a little bit later when we do facility updates. That will be coming on board soon. The emergency action plan is always, as we've said, run, hide, or fight. Run if you can get away from an event or a person or a violent incident. Hide, shelter in place if you need to, or fight as a last resort. On October the 16th for Professional Development Day, security will be doing some sessions in the afternoon. We probably will limit the number that will be in each session just because they will be interactive. So sign up as soon as that comes out. But we think that those will be interesting. And we'll do more training as we can. We go throughout the year. But October 16th will be a good Professional Development Day to offer some of that. Again, your emergency kits, all the classrooms should have that red bucket in your classrooms. If you don't, talk with Zeb in security and he can get you one, but all the classrooms should have that in case there is an emergency and we're in lockdown for an extended period of time. facility services, just want to mention all of our maintenance guys have been checking the drains, the roofs, to make sure that things are working properly. In the event that Florence does come and affect us, we have been watching the weather reports, so if there is any changes that we need to make the college aware of, again, you know those avenues that will go through the alert, website, email, so watch out for those. Hopefully, knock on some wood, it doesn't look like it's going to hit us quite as bad as originally thought, and so we're going to keep hoping that's the case and praying for the folks down on the coast. For our facility updates, the incline platform lift right outside of the doors here has been completed, so anyone that is wheelchair bound can get to the bottom of Leviton Auditorium. And we had our fearless chief of security test it out for us, and he did very well. The lift brought him from the bottom to the top. So we think that that's a great improvement. We hope to make a lot more improvements when it comes to accessibility on the campus as we go throughout this year. Parking lots in front of 530 Park were resurfaced a few weeks ago. My picture on the bottom doesn't have it with the stripes, but it has been striped as well. We think that just makes a nicer look for the campus as you drive in. The H building project, as part of the H building, we had to move the dental classroom and labs over to Foothills Higher Education Center. We took classrooms 121 and 122 and converted them into where the dental program will be. This is a shot of the classroom itself, and they normally have around 16 students in their program. And then part of the lab area that you can see here, the sterilization room, in one of the operatory rooms. We feel like this is a good addition to what they had, and modernization of the equipment so that will better train those folks in the dental program. The H building has started. If you've been on that side of the campus, you've seen a lot of the construction folks over there and things being torn out. And if you walk through H building at all, which we don't advise, things can fall on your head. Or you can fall through the floors. Either way. But the demolishing is almost complete, and they're ready to start doing the work to get that renovated space back up to par. Again, this is where Burke Middle College is going to be housed as we move forward, and we hope that it'll be a nice addition to the mechatronics across the sidewalk from them, and a good place for all the Burke Middle College students to be able to learn and to be able to socialize as well. The cafe is also underway, so if you've been in Pfeiffer Hall, you've seen the mess over there. The demo is pretty much complete there, and they should be starting on their the construction piece of it, getting the walls and everything built shortly. We expect that to be completed by the beginning of the spring semester, and have the cafe in there, as well as updating those tutor rooms with also a handicapped restroom in one of those tutor rooms that will have an adult changing table for any of our disabled students that may need that as well. This is a slight picture. I don't know how well you'll be able to tell from your seats of one aspect of what the cafe may look like. This one you probably can't see as well, but it's a longer version of where the food station will be on one end and the seating area on the other. As I mentioned, the door access, we should be awarding that contract to the vendor this week, and hopefully that will take 3 to 4 months to get complete. I've heard some questions come out about what this will actually entail. During the day, there's not going to be anything that's any different. The doors will be open, you'll be able to go in and out, students will be able to go in and out. This is mainly for after hours when the buildings are locked. We can lock the buildings at one time. Security will still go through all the buildings, make sure classrooms are secure, make sure every lights are turned off, that kind of thing, and they'll set the alarms. But then we can tell that all the doors are locked. The main purpose is that in the case of a lockdown, we can lock down at one time so no one's having to run out to the lobby and try to lock a door while something major is going on. As we move forward, we may move internally where we have some internal doors that we want to put on access control as well. But for right now, this is just the exterior doors and just for the buildings on the main campus at this side point. And then we'll move to the K building as we get additional funding. More hall renovations. We want to start probably end of this year, early next year, start renovating some of the spaces in Moore Hall. 275 is one. Where digital effects and simulation gaming is at, where the old Academic Success Center would be a second piece, and then probably some other classrooms that need updating in Moore Hall. One thing I wanted to show here was in working with North Carolina School of Science and Math, they do want to put in an access road differently from where you would go into normally to the School for the Deaf. They wanted to come off of Hopewell, and so they've been working with the college and also with the School for the Deaf to try to create one road that would come off of Hopewell, but that all three institutions could use. The one thing that will look a little differently here is that it's on the side closest to Fiber Hall there at the tennis courts. It will actually be on the other side. So it'll come through here and connect with College Drive, right through here. This will give us flexibility as we go if we want to put a building in between there, and it will actually be more cost savings for North Carolina School of Science and Math as well. They're going up higher to really avoid that stream, that buffer, put that buffer in there. They'll come off of Hopewell and come to a roundabout. So you can either come towards Western Piedmont or you can go towards the School of Science and Math. And then as they get up to the School of Science and Math, there's another roundabout where they can either go to the School for the Deaf or the School of Science and Math. So they're hoping that this creates a second exit for all institutions and will be a convenience as well. And I know that Florence is coming, but we did have a rainbow over the pond about a week or two ago, and so I think everything is going to be okay.
That's much shorter than you did that.
Yes.
She did take 2 hours and 45 minutes, I'll tell you. We give her a hard time. My report was much shorter, I promise. At the board meeting on Tuesday, we introduced our new SGA president, Isaiah Gordon. If you've not had an opportunity to meet him, he is a fantastic guy. He did a great job with his speech that he did to the board, and I think he's going to hit the road running for this school year with activities for our SGA. I did announce to the board, we talked about enrollment. Head count for fall term was 1833. That's down about 0.5% from last fall. FTE is 778.6 for curriculum. That is down about 1.9% from last fall, but much better than it looked earlier in the summer. So I want to applaud all of you that worked very hard to get that enrollment up, and we do appreciate it. Of our enrollment for fall semester, 45% are full-time, 55% part-time, 39% male, 61% female, and our average age this semester is 24. So we're getting young. We've been here way too long ago that we were 28, 29 was our average age. Now we're down to 24. I did let the board know about the new welding shop at East Burke High School. A year or so ago, we did a welding shop at Freedom High School, and it has gone so well. East Burke was asking for one, so over the summer, late spring, over the summer, that work was finished, and we have 15 students enrolled in welding at East Burke, which is perfect. It's a full class. This particular term, we have 302 CCP students enrolled. That's up from 188 last fall. A lot of work has been going into that, and we are also working on additional items to help with that enrollment. We have a new mechatronics academy consisting of students, CCP students from high schools and BMC students, Burke Middle College students, and 13, 14 students enrolled in that. It's going very well. We are treating this as a cohort and did special activities with them this summer to help them get to know each other and kind of follow them through the process. And we're now in the process of exploring additional academies that we can work between Breckville College and other CCP students. I informed the board about some summer camps we did this summer. Brandon Hensley did a engineering camp, one for elementary age and one for middle school age. Jonathan Crumper's group did a simulation and game design camp. And I was very fortunate to be able to go over there and watch some of the engineering camp students, and they were amazing. Towards the end of the week, they'd been given a project to do, and the elementary school kids were just hilarious watching them. They just went at it, and it was a great opportunity to see them working. They were having to be creative and solve problems, and it was really good. And we have a student that's currently enrolled in our simulation and game design program. And there's probably more, but I know of this one who said, I came to Western Piedmont because I attended one of your simulation and game design camp when I was much younger, and that stuck with me. And so this is a great opportunity for us to recruit students, and we hope to expand on our summer camps as we keep going. We will be having 8th grade tours. We're going to do 8th grade tours differently this time. Now last year we had a mob setting almost with 8th grade tours over a 2-day period, and we had lots and lots of, almost 1,000 kids here, and it was quite hectic. Well, at the request of Burke County Public Schools, we're going to do this a little differently this year. The students are going to be going and visiting industry in the daytime, then they're going to come here for lunch, and then they'll be touring some of our campus then in the afternoon. Only we're going to do one middle school at a time. So our first one is September 28th. It will be Liberty Middle School. They will be at the first group, and we're in the process of working on that. Additional tours will be in October, November, March, and April. And I'll be getting with some of you to help with that. I think this is going to be better situation. It's better for the industries. It's better for the school students because they'll have more time to spend in the different tours, plus be able to see more things. When you're trying to get 1,000 kids through here at one time, it's really hard. But when you can do 170 at one time, it's a little better. And so we're going to set it up a little differently. We're also going to participate in a 7th grade career fair in November. I talked about the adjunct faculty meeting we had on August 14th. We do have some new articulation agreements that I made the board aware of. One is with Gardner-Webb University. It's just, again, some more options for our students when they transfer to when they leave Western Piedmont. And then we've also signed a new agreement with UNCG Greensboro with our interpreter ed program. I did announce to the board about our speakers forum that's coming up October 8th through 11th. The science of the human genome, freedom and responsibility. And as we've done in the past, we'll have a session on Monday night at 7 o'clock here in the auditorium. How genetic technologies are changing the way we have kids and the kids we have. And then on Tuesday at 11 o'clock here in the auditorium, how biologists, statisticians, and computer scientists are making a difference in human health. On Thursday, October 11th at 7 o'clock back here in the auditorium, is human enhancement the price of editing genes to prevent disease? This sounds like a very interesting topics for our speakers forum this time, and we look forward to that. Now on Wednesday, October the 10th, all day long, we'll be screening the film, Cracking Your Genetic Code. So this should be a very informative speakers forum this year, and we're looking forward to that. Also, you'll be getting more information about this later, but we will have Professional Development Day on October 16th. Sandy mentioned a little bit about it. We have a guest speaker coming for our general session. Her name is Laura Hamilton. Some of you may have heard her before. She's a very dynamic, entertaining speaker. I've heard her a couple times, and I think she's been to Western Piedmont, and several of you have heard her as well. But we're looking forward to that, and then we will have several different breakout sessions. So the professional development group has been working towards getting this completed. And that concluded my report. See, I didn't take us long.
coming back to me. Y'all didn't clap for Sandy's dinner. They keep up with that stuff. Just as a reminder, we are recording this session, and if you want to go back and review it, we'll send out a link a little bit later, or if you know anybody who missed this session would like to hear what's been going on, we'll be glad to send that link out a little bit later. Reference was made to the hurricane. I hope none of you have delayed doing things because you thought you were going to get a day off tomorrow. It's not going to happen. The hurricane's been downgraded. It looks like it's going south from where it was originally intended. But I can tell you, having lived in coastal areas before, tidal surge is nothing to be complacent about. That some of us have been in the Charleston area. It's all low, and they've had flooding in the past. So keep them in your prayers. That it's going to be a serious situation with the Category 2 hurricane that hits down there. I'm trying to read my notes while I'm going here. I can't read that. Enrollment. I just want to say something about enrollment. That we still need to concentrate on our enrollment. It is down a little bit from where it has been, but not as bad as it has been in the past. We expect to make up some of that ground with new focus on continuing education. That the industry's needs have been changing over the last few years, and we're seeing an uptick in continuing education. But you all don't give up on the curriculum side either, that we need to continue to build those curriculum programs. And if you were confused about all of that information about the various tiers, join the club. We're all confused. Sandy keeps up with it, but it's something that has changed every single year that I have been here. And let's see, Sandy, you said credit for tobacco use? Did you mean non-tobacco use? I say maybe we should start. Okay, so don't start. The credit's probably not worth it. I'm going to introduce now Susan Burley, who will come up and talk to us about performance measures, then Stacy Schuller, and then the reason that I stepped to the back is so that I could ask Mike Spath to do an update on the faculty and staff council. So, Susan.
All right, I know this may be very difficult to see, but all this information is available online, and I'd be happy to speak with you further about it after the meeting. So I'm here today to talk about the annual performance measures report, and this is the report that the system office puts together every year, and though it's labeled the 2018 report, keep in mind that a lot of the data is several years old, just because of the definition of the measures that they're looking at. And so every year the system looks at these 7 performance areas and rates each of the 58 community colleges, and we all get a dot rating. You get a black dot if you're below their baseline. You get a red dot if you're above the baseline but below the college average. You get a yellow dot if you're above the college average but below the excellence level. And you get a green dot if you're above the excellence level. And so Western Piedmont in this year's report had 4 green dots and 2 yellow and 1 red. And this is really fantastic. When you look at all 58 community colleges, there are only 6 colleges that had 4 or more green dots. There was 1 college that had 5 green dots. But there were 5 of us that had 4 green dots. So overall, we're in the top 6 community colleges. I think that's fantastic. I'm going to go through each of the measures real quickly, starting with the 4 areas where we had the green dots. And those are the 4 measures that are at the bottom of the screen here. Starting with basic skills progress. And what you want to look for here is that the lightest blue bar, which is our 2018 result, we want to see that longer than the green bar. The green bar is the excellence level. So you'll see with basic skills that we far exceeded the green bar. This data is looking at our 2016, 2017 students, and the percentage of those students who achieved an educational functioning level gain during that year. And so excellence was at 68.3%. and we were at 82.9%, so fantastic. Credit English success and credit math success, again, we did very, very well here. In both of these measures, we're looking at the 2015 fall cohort of students, and it's looking at first-time associate degree seeking students or transfer pathway students who take a credit-bearing course in either English or math and earn a C or better within their first 2 years. And you can see our historical performance here in both of these measures. We've always done very well. For credit English success, the excellence level was 55.9%. We were actually at 65%. And for credit math success, excellence was at 32.5%, and we were at 46%. So again, just absolutely fantastic. First year progression, again, we exceeded excellence. This is looking at the 2016 fall cohort of students. And this particular measure is looking at the percentage of first-time fall curriculum students who attempt at least 12 credit hours and complete 12 credit hours in their first year. So excellence was 75%, and we were at 79.2%. The next area is curriculum completion. This was our red dot. So we were above the baseline, but we were just a little bit short of the college average. We were at 42.4%. The college average was what, 43.4%. So we're right there. But this particular measure actually looks at our 2011 fall cohort of students. And as we're aware, the 2011 fall cohort of students was right there at the end of the recession. Those students are different than the students that we're seeing today. Rhea just reported, our average student age is coming down. So we're seeing a different student now. And I would think that in the next couple of years, we'll see this performance measure changing for us in terms of our results. But it's looking at the percent of first-time fall curriculum students who, after 6 years, have either graduated, transferred, or are still enrolled with at least 36 credit hours. And then the last two measures are the measures where we had yellow dots. So we were above the college average, but haven't quite reached the excellence level yet. The licensure passing rate, this is looking at 2016, 2017 students, and it looks at the percentage of those students who have passed their state mandated exams and were to become licensed professionals. So this is looking at the RN students, BLET, EMT, and let's see here, the college average was 79.8%, and we were at 81.5%. So we're above the college average, and we're striving for that excellence level. In our next report, we'll see the addition of cosmetology students and the licensing exams that they will be completing. And the final measure is college transfer performance. These results are from 2015, 2016 students. And it looks at those students who left us in 2015-16 and transferred over to a four-year university, either after completing an associate degree or completing 30 hours. And it looks at how well they're doing at the university after they transfer. So the percentage that earned a GPA of 2.25 or higher. In this particular measure, the college average is 83.7%, and we're above that at 84.1%, but we're still striving for that excellence level of 87.6%. So all in all, great results here. And these measures are important. They factor into the funding that we receive from the state. These particular measures we report to our accreditors as our goals for our students. So it's something that we're all working towards, making sure that our students are close or beyond the excellence level. And I think that's all that I have to report on there. All the results are available through the System Office website, and you can drill down a little bit further into them because they do have dashboards available. So again, I thank you. I know a lot of you have these measures in your program reviews. You're using them to engage the activities that you're working on. So I thank you for your attention to these, and please let me know if you have any questions. Good afternoon. I'm here to give you all a brief update on the foundation. This report was given by our trustee representative that's on the foundation board, Mr. Ronnie Thompson, and he gave this foundation update at the trustee meeting the other day. The foundation conducted its annual business meeting and dinner on Tuesday, August the 28th at the Morganton Community House. And at that meeting, we announced that Dalton Walters is the new president for the foundation for the 2018-19 year. We also recognized and thanked 3 directors that completed their second term and will not be returning on our board. And then we also welcomed new directors to the foundation board at that meeting. They will be serving a 3-year term. Those directors that completed their second term and they will not be coming back were Dr. Roger Jackson, Sarah Lou Suckup, and Joey Wakefield. The 3 new directors that were nominated and approved are Lindsay Stotts, and Lindsay is a public school teacher with Burke County Public Schools, and Elizabeth Ward. She is a nurse with Morganton Eye Physicians. And Christy Farley, our own Western Piedmont Community College staff employee. So we were excited to have all of them come on the board. We also recently announced a resignation from one of our board of directors. It's Tracy Riebel. Tracy served on our board, and she has accepted a new position as executive director of the Blue Ridge Healthcare Foundation. So there was obviously a conflict of interest. So we thanked her for her service. We'll miss her, but we wished her well in her new position. And then during our annual meeting, we also made a decision about the golf tournament. The golf tournament is something that we've had for 30, 40 years. It's always held on the first Monday in May. And I received a phone call from our liaison, the golf pro at Mimosa Hills Country Club. And he's not going to be able to give us that first Monday in May like we've always had. They're doing some extensive maintenance on the golf course during that time. So we decided we would really take a look at the foundation's golf tournament. And we kind of took a look at the profit that we made versus the time investment that many of you all are volunteers as well as the staff put in. And we decided not to have a golf tournament this year. We're confident that we can make up the profit by directing our energies towards donor visits and corporate giving. We are going to start by working really hard on developing our relationships with the foundation and our industry partners that we already have. So that's what we're going to try for this year and see how that works. So now moving on to what's currently happening now. The annual giving campaign is underway. It's off to a great start with the Board of Trustees and Directors appeal. And now we're gearing up and getting ready for the employee campaign. And that will run from Friday, September 21st through Thursday, October 4th. We're going to have our kickoff luncheon next Friday at 12 o'clock. And this is the first time we've had a luncheon that I'm aware of. It's usually a breakfast. So make sure you come out, enjoy us, have a good lunch, and have the program, which will be kicked off by your co-chairs, Ashley Wells and Danny Dixon. And they will introduce their division captains for the campaign. And we're just looking forward to that event. You probably have received an email, most of you have already responded, If you haven't responded to that email invitation, if you can do so, I need to let Morganton Community House know tomorrow how many to expect, so I appreciate that. Then immediately after the employee campaign ends, we'll go right into the community campaign, and then all the appeals will be over by the end of November. And then finally, our annual scholarship reception will be held here in Leviton Auditorium, and that will be on the evening of Tuesday, October 23rd. This is always a wonderful, meaningful event. We invite the scholarship donors and the scholarship recipients. They connect, they get to talk, they get to tell each other their stories. It's a real meaningful event. And I would just encourage any of you all to attend if you're able. It starts at 5:30. And it's a great way to see how the foundation supports the college and its students. It's a great event. Thank you all for your continued support of the foundation, and we look forward to seeing you Friday at the luncheon.
Right. Thank you for the opportunity to talk a little bit about faculty, staff, council. First, I just want to thank Jennifer Probst, Dr. Helmick, all those that made the Community College Roundup a success. And I want to congratulate many of our winners that are in this room. So let's do that real quick. Rock, paper, scissors. Look out, Sarah Payne. She can play some mean game rock, paper, scissors. Kathy was part of the College Bowl team that actually was doing the Quiz Bowl. And she was really good with the balloon toss. And am I missing something else, Kathy? She's like, oh, I got one. But anyway, it was neat because she had both the athletic and the academic awards going on there. It really was a great time. We really had, there was just camaraderie between the community colleges that developed relationships. We're actually working on a survey right now between Caldwell and between CDCC and ourselves. We're working on a survey. We're going to send that out and just get some feedback on how the event impacted you, how you benefited from the event, those kinds of things, whether you just had fun, because that was part of the deal too. You know, all this intercollegiate stuff that we're talking about here is part of what the new system president is pushing. So one of the things that distinguishes the new president of the community college system, the entire system-wide North Carolina, is to increase intercollegiate relationships between neighboring community colleges. And so this really lined up beautifully with that. And so you can just see the results. I mean, I'm regularly communicating with Caldwell and CDCC. Both those community colleges know about our Fall Speakers Forum. They hear a lot about that. We got to announce it there. Anne Marie did a great job announcing that at the event. They're telling us about things that they're doing. We're really starting to see these relationships. I even have a field trip plan now that I was able to interact with some of the folks at CDCC. So again, just a great success, lots of fun. Just appreciate all of you that participated. And it was much more about working together as teams. In fact, the teams typically consisted of a Western Piedmont, a Caldwell, and a CDCC person. It wasn't us versus them, although I think that got some of you to come. You know, she basically just wanted to kick some, you know what, and we got you to come, and then you got to be part of a team with another school, so that was actually really neat. Just to give you some things about faculty, staff, council, where we're at right now. We just had our first meeting today. I did a doodle poll, and we didn't have a whole lot of alignment. I don't know if you've ever had that problem before. So we have 20 folks, and I think 8 or 9 were able to make it because of our conflicting schedules. So we're going to communicate with the folks that weren't there. We're going to make some efforts there. But we were able to do a roundtable, discuss what's going on in different areas, communicate ideas, concerns. It was really a great meeting, very positive. There was a lot of patting on each other's backs in that meeting. I think that's a good thing. But there's a lot of just thank you for what you're doing in your area. It was a wonderful atmosphere. I'm really enjoying this already. I was told I would enjoy doing this chair thing And now I really believe it. Rusty, thank you for the good vibes. And Mark Pellet, all those that went before me, and of course Annette the year before. I start realizing, wow, this is a neat thing. It's just really neat kind of getting up into the cockpit, if you will, and looking out in that window and seeing where we're heading, and getting that really cool 30,000-foot view of what's happening here on this campus. It's really pretty up there. It's when you're, I was thinking about Florence, and you look at those pictures, and it's really beautiful, isn't it? I mean, you see it from, way up there in that satellite view. Oh, how bad it is when you're down in there, right? But beautiful from way up high. Not exactly a great comparison here. but it really is beautiful seeing things from up high, I'll tell you that much. Okay, I'm walking you that. And it's being recorded. Okay, that's good. Anyway. Yeah, I just ran right into that one. But anyway, we were able to discuss the bylaws. We are going to change the bylaws to reflect some of the changes in senior administration. So there are some changes that we are implementing right now. We're actually working on those editing changes there, and so we're going to just change just a few things. We're also making sure all of our representatives are assigned to various committees. So we're going to have a lot of folks and out there and listening in on different committees and reporting back, so there'll be a lot of communication there. I just encourage you to look again at the list of folks that are representing you in your area. Just know that we are here. As a faculty staff council, we want to hear your ideas, we want to hear your concerns, we want to make this a better place to work, a better place for students to learn. I've just been so inspired by my students already. I'm just getting to know them now here in week 4. And not that I'm counting, but week 4. And stay positive, right? But really, just a quick example of someone that's in one of my classes, and that makes me think just about what we're all about, why we're here right now. So there's a student in my class. He's about my age. Maybe that's part of it. I relate a little bit there. He's a father. He actually served in the military. He was active duty. He actually saw a lot of action in the Middle East in prior years. And he got to the 16th year, 16th out of 20. In the military, you get to 20, you're usually set. Well, he was at 16, and then he decided to prioritize his family. He stopped his military involvement, and he prioritized his children. And he decided, I need to be a father. And so, foregoing that retirement, he decided to be a family man. And that caused him to obviously have to redirect his entire direction in life. So a person has put his life on the line for us. A person has put his family first. What can you do? All you want to do is do all you can to help someone like that. It makes you want to put your life on hold for him. He has made so many sacrifices for our country and for his family and for this community. Boy, how much more can we try to do something? Is there anything we can do for someone like that? And I think that's the thing that keeps us going. And guys, we need to hear these stories. We need to hear what we're doing, what all this is about on the faculty side, on the staff side, and work together to make this place greater. And so I'm just very inspired by my students more than anything. And we want to make this place even better for them and better for us as well too. Because if we're happy, they'll receive the benefits, won't they? Trickle down. It'll work. Thank you, Dr. Hellman.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the inspiring words. Also, we've all fallen into the trap of the mixed metaphor. It's really hard to dig your way out of it. I've done that a few times. I also want to thank Mike and Jennifer. Jennifer Probst was the other person who co-chaired what I call the Intercollegiate Games. But it was a great event. It was a fun day. I got a chance to talk to some of the other presidents in an informal manner. We are trying more and more to partner because it is a mission from our system president, Peter Hans. There's more emphasis on that. We are stronger, 58 strong, but we're stronger when we partner with other institutions and work together. So be looking for more of that. We're actually working on a really cool idea right now, and I can't tell you about it because it's sort of in the infancy stages, but it could be really cool. Did want to mention that the performance measures that you see up there, I'd love to take credit for that, but it has limited to do with me, although I would probably take some credit for it. It's mostly due to you all. In fact, it's all due to you all and the hard work that our students put in. Excellence in education that you all do. It does not matter what you do here. You impact students one way or another. Whether you are outside working on the grounds or whether you're inside the classroom or whether you're in one of the other support areas for the classroom experience that goes on, it all helps with our students. And so thank you all very much for what you do, and it's reflected in those performance measures. We are once again an outstanding institution in this state, and that has been coupled with some of the other things we've done. A lot of congratulations for being number 9 in America, and which is kind of an interesting designation that we weren't expecting, but we'll take it. So. Wanted to say a few things about the meeting that we had on Tuesday, a few more things, and then I'll wrap us up very quickly. Make sure I didn't leave anything out. We did install a few of the new trustees. We have a new trustee, Amy Kincaid. If you're hearing a strange noise, that's my wife. I'll talk to you more about that later. Rod Harrelson is a new trustee, Amy Kincaid is a new trustee, and Isaiah Gordon, as was already mentioned, is a new trustee for us. And Ronnie Thompson was reappointed as a trustee, and then Malone McNeely was appointed back in the spring as a new trustee. So we actually have 3 brand new trustees, 4 if you count the student trustee, and 1 reappointment trustee. So we're in good shape. Our board is trending younger. I think you heard Mr. Lennon say something about that at the campus-wide meeting that we had at the first of the year, the convocation. It's been a complete changeover in trustees, with the exception, I think, of one who has come back on in the last 5 years. It's been pretty amazing to watch that. And people are actually lining up to be trustees at this institution, which we find kind of interesting. There was some discussion held by the Building and Grounds Committee on the Broughton study. I think you all are somewhat aware that there's an 800-acre parcel of land here, and that's all called the Broughton District. And they have been doing a study, DFI, out of the system, the UNC School of Government has done a study on this area. There was a continued discussion on that. I want to sort of give you all the information. We will make that report specific to Western Piedmont's East Campus available. We're a big part of that East Campus. Part of that is that it shows some things that might concern you. Hotel project at the front of the campus, which is unlikely to happen, I will tell you that. It's just been designated as a possibility. But the East Campus has also been slated for an area that could help with economic development. There are no plans to do away with any of our buildings over there, so those of you who are in K building, don't worry. We had a meeting yesterday where we were looking at that facility. We're looking at that by incorporating it with something else that would go on in that area, but not doing away with that building. So don't panic. If you look at the Broughton study, K building is gone. We're not doing what's in the Broughton study. It's just an interesting thing to look at. So I think it's good to look at it, but it's a conceptualization. A lot of the exciting things are what will be going on with the actual Broughton property. And that is really interesting and creative and innovative. The only thing that stands in the way is cooperation from the state and money. So, unfortunately, our property is not owned by the state of North Carolina, so by the trustees. So, but it is interesting. We'll make a link available to that. But if you see us walking around looking at property, don't panic. We've got it under control. Nobody's taking our property away. ESTC is currently on hold. We talked a little bit about moving the ESTC. That project is on hold, again, due to money as much as anything else. We've always said all along we're willing to work with the Broughton study, but we are not anxious to move the ESTC. Our trustees did attend a trustees conference last week. They were there for 3 days. I always encourage them to go and shop and just look at the other colleges and see how we compare. We always come out very favorably from a number of directions. We had, I think, it was 6 trustees that were there last week, and it was a great conference. They learned a lot. They went through a lot of training, and we'll continue to get those folks up to speed on what goes on in the community college system. At the meeting last night, we did confirm our college mission statement, and we also approved the specific fees that will be in some of your areas, and we had to explain to the trustees why some of them went up, some of them went down. And then we did the other areas that were in the usual things that we did. I do want to tell you that the mini grants are coming. That's part of the foundation efforts to provide funds to faculty and staff that do interesting projects. So be thinking about what interesting projects you might want to do. Lisa will be announcing some more information about the mini grants later, and then that is funded as part of your efforts through the foundation. And I'm going to make my other pitch for the foundation. We would love for you all to contribute to that because, quite frankly, we get a return on it. But it's also really good for our students. And we're very excited about some of the changes that are there. Christy is now a member of the foundation board. We are looking for a faculty member for next year. So if you are a faculty person, we got that approved by the board, and would like to be on the foundation board, let us know, and we'll be glad to consider that. I do want to cover the one thing that I always like to do, and that is our exemplary core values individuals that have been nominated. Remember, you can nominate someone by going on the Tell Us How We're Doing section of the website and filling out a little bit of information, get it to us, and take it from there. By we, I mean me and Lisa Miller. She does the bulk of the writing on those. You will see coming out from my email a longer version of what I'm going to give you right now. But we have 3 folks who are being recognized for their excellence in establishing and maintaining core values. And the first of those is no stranger to anybody here, Ashley Wells. So Ashley, congratulations. Ashley was recognized for efforts exemplifying the core values of excellence, striving to exceed the expectations of each other, our students, and the community we serve, and aspiring to be known as an exceptional institution for the programs and services we provide. In 2017, when 2 out of 3 curriculum divisions did not have division assistants, Ashley took on additional duties with the Business, Public Services, and Academic Support Division and the Health, Engineering, and Applied Technology Division, along with maintaining her duties for the Arts and Sciences Division. During this time, she trained 2 temporary part-time staff who eventually became permanent full-time division assistants. And during that same time, she also supported the chair of the 2017 Speakers Forum Committee to ensure the multi-day speaker series was a success. Thank you, Ashley. Let's give her another hand. Individual who does a lot of things for excellence around here, Mark Pellet. He was recognized for efforts exemplifying the core values of service, taking pride in serving the needs of students and the community by actively participating in service learning, civic engagement, and collaboration with community partners. In fall 2017, Mark helped continue the college's commitment to the historic Burton Foundation by providing activities and service during the Revolutionary War open house at Quaker Meadows Plantation. In addition, he co-facilitates a biennial study and travel tour of New York City for students and community members and collaborates with Warren Wilson College so that Western Piedmont students can participate in the archaeological dig at the Berry site each summer. Let's give Mark a hand. I'm looking around and I don't see Mark. You're not there. I'm missing Mark. Okay, but make sure to congratulate Mark. He'll probably wonder what you're talking about until tomorrow. Mike Spath is our next honoree. Mike, thank you. Let's give Mike a hand. He was recognized for efforts exemplifying the core values of success, providing a safe, supportive environment that promotes learning and professional development, leading to completion of academic programs, training, and career goals. Being a faculty advisor for the Natural Science Club, he holds weekly group meetings in the fall and spring semesters, taking students on field trips or engaging them in service projects at off-site locations. He also makes great efforts to get to know his students. He sent an email congratulating one student who earned an A, writing, "What's even more striking is that you did that well while working a demanding full-time job and taking the course in only 8 weeks instead of the usual 16. I am so happy and proud for you. Please do me a favor, celebrate this achievement somehow. It has been my pleasure for being your instructor, Caleb." Mr. Spath. Let's give him another. Remember, you can nominate people who you feel like are exhibiting our core values. If you don't know what our core values are, you can find them on the strategic plan website. They will be there for your perusal, and you can think of someone to nominate for that. We value all of what you do, but we also like to point out when people go above and beyond, as many of you do every day at this institution, and I want to tell you how grateful I am for that. It is after 3 o'clock, and that clock is a little bit fast. We will dismiss this meeting. I want to thank you again. This is being recorded, so that if you want to see this on the big screen, you can check in when we send you that link. So thank you all for your attendance.